How legends are made. This is how.
Salute. Good afternoon, good people. Good evening, I should say. Today, as y'all know, we'll get into another episode of the Are You Locked In digital magazine. We have a very special guest. This young lady is by far came a very long way. So let me let y'all take this opportunity, go grab yourself some refreshment, some drinks, whatever the case may be, and I will, start shouting you out, per se, all the content creators and people that did their best to show up. Without further ado, let me make sure give this person the warmest welcome ever, because this person, what they do not know is when I came across them, I was kind of at a standstill. I had a direction, but I wasn't really locked into helping people grow channels. I was winging it. And this person put their faith and trust in me, and by far it changed not only me, it helped tremendously. So without further ado, let me bring you the awesome Miss Elizabeth to the channel. How you doing?
Hello.
Salute. How are you? You got quite a few people in. Wow, this is for 47 people just combined, per se. So if you can just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, who you are, so on and so forth, and then we'll get right into the niche of things.
Got it. Okay. Well, my name is Elizabeth. My channel name is The More Intuitive Me. And my channel is all about connecting with our own intuition in order to kind of take charge of our life and make more empowered decisions, heal things that we have going on in our past, and then move forward in a new way.
Okay. Yeah. Now, listen, let me shout out to Joe. Salute. Shout out to Just Oli, which is Riley or Raven, whichever one you like to particularly call him. Shout out to the Hustle Man. This right here, this link is to the metaverse. We'll drop. I will pin this later on. If you want to come check us out in the metaverse, we do have a podcast over there. We are looking for people that would like to come be a guest in the meta world. Super cool. We'll explain it all to y'all later on at the end of this particular show. Shout out to Jaden. Henny, salute. Appreciate you pulling up. And shout out to John. What's good? Salute. I guess John is from. Yeah, he definitely should. Let's see. Shout out to Willie's. Willie's just hanging out, man. Okay, without further ado, as the show goes on, I'll pivot and shout out to content creators, give everybody the opportunity to ask questions. But, this is Elizabeth's time to shine, and this is her moment. Not too often do we get recognized, per se. She's done a lot of work, a lot of work, and I'm definitely super proud of her. So we got some questions for you. If you don't mind, let me click this. All right. Let's see. Okay. So, who was Elizabeth before the More Intuitive Me existed?
I was kind of bumping around through life. I found this path during COVID, I would say. Uh, I got, like a lot of people, laid off from work. And I decided that I was going to take a course on one of these online platforms. It was on mindfulness, demystifying mindfulness. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I'll do that. And I did that. I learned all about this practice of mindfulness, but also about meditation. And then that kind of went from one thing to the next. Next thing you know, I was doing yoga and I was practicing breathing exercises and I was tinkering with, I was going back and doing more journaling. And then I decided, you know what? I want to try tarot. So I bought my first deck, and the rest is history.
Okay. Uh, I guess what was happening in your life when the intuition started speaking louder than logic?
I was getting a lot of messages from nature, believe it or not. And it wouldn't stop, but I didn't realize like what was happening at that time. I just thought, oh, that's interesting. The more I noticed, the more I started to see, if that makes sense.
Make perfect sense to me. Per se, let's see. I'm tinkering with this thing. Y'all gotta bear with me. Let's see. Okay. How do you stay? Oh, ooh, well, was there a moment where you ignored intuition and learned the hard way?
Yes. Yes. And that happens to all of us, right? Like where you feel this like weird feeling in the pit of your stomach, in your gut, and you're like, no, you talk yourself out of it, like, and you make excuses for either other people or the situation. You try to justify it in your mind, and then it turns out that you should have just listened from the beginning. So I just learned over time to trust and not fight it so much.
Okay. Why do you think so many people are afraid to trust themselves?
That's a great question. I think that stems from the way we're raised when we're growing up. You know, for myself personally, I grew up with very strict Puerto Rican parents, and everything was their way or no way. And I find that my voice was shut down at a very early age. Like it didn't matter what I thought, what I said, what I felt. I just had to kind of fall in line and do all the things as was expected of me. So when that happens, it takes a really long time for you to reconnect with that part of yourself and kind of get your power back.
Okay. What made you feel called to create a sacred space online?
Mm.
Hold on, let me make sure I say this. This is one of them clippable moments. So I guess clip it. What made you feel called to create a sacred space online?
I like I said, I bought my first deck and I just intended to kind of learn on my own. And I did that for about 3 months, but I was struggling, right? Because it was a lot. It was a lot of information. And I went to YouTube, and then I discovered this entire community there of people that were into this stuff and people that were teaching it or providing resources, tips and tricks. And so I started watching that way. And then sometimes I would watch videos like and think, wow, that person can talk. Like they were talking for so long. How can they just sit there and talk for so long? Like, I don't know. One day I turned on the camera on my laptop and I recorded just to see. And then I found, guess what? I could do the same thing. When you love something, you can talk about it. Hi, Dad.
Hey, Desiree, salute. Hey, Witchy. Yeah, they definitely pouring in. Okay, so let me get to this next one. Okay. This is segment number 2, which is intuition versus noise. Uh, how can someone tell the difference between intuition and anxiety?
I think you can tell. And the reason that I say that is when I feel anxiety, I do not pick up a deck of cards because uh, I know that the messages that come in are going to be filled with noise, and that's not what I want. So when you come to your sacred space and when you're trying to connect with yourself and listen to your messages, now different people believe in different things, but like I definitely connect with source, and I like to sit and listen. I work a lot with like angel energy. I like to work with Mother Mary, and so when I come, I have to have a clear mind, otherwise I cannot hear whatever they may be trying to tell me.
Okay, okay. Okay. Why do you think intuition feels quieter in today's world?
Why do I think intuition feels
Quieter in today's world? Or
hmm,
do you feel it's quieter?
I think that more and more people are connecting to their intuition or coming to their intuition and the realization that they know more than what they think they know. I think there's more people. I don't know. I don't want to use the term. This term feels over, used like woke, but I think there's a lot of people that are starting to realize that you don't need to go to other people to get external validation, because really at the end of the day you have the answer to your question. Sometimes you're asking just to get somebody else to say, yeah, you should do that. But even if it's something that you didn't want to do, if they said, yes, you should do it, at the end of the day, you're still going to be like, nah, that's okay. I just do this other thing.
What daily habits strengthen your intuitive listening?
I start my day with journaling. And I find that that really opens things up. And sometimes I will pull a card. I usually it's good to start with a question, but you don't always need a question. Sometimes I just pull a card and I start writing, and before you know it, I'm not thinking about punctuation, sentence grammar, like any of that stuff. I'm just start writing. It's called automatic writing. I just start writing, and before you know it, you stumble upon truths that you didn't even know were there, because it's a easier way to connect with your subconscious.
Can intuition be rebuilt after years of ignoring it?
Mm, I believe yes. And I've heard different stories from different people who were either like brought up or made to feel like that was a quote unquote bad part of yourself and you shouldn't, do these things, and they, maybe turn their back on it. And there's work that you need to do, but you can regain that connection.
Okay. What does intuition feel like in your body? Like, can you explain what it feels like?
Oh, yeah. I get certain sensations, and it depends on the situation. But I'll share like a quick story. The other day, I was at my work table and I heard a noise. And you know how typically you hear a noise and you jump, like you're startled, so you jump. But in that situation, I did not. I literally felt like the area of my solar plexus, I felt that jump. My body did not jump. So it just depends. Sometimes I feel it like a tingle in my legs. I can feel energy in my hands. If I'm doing a heavy reading, I either feel it like a weight on the back of my neck, or like this heavy feeling on my heart. It depends on the topic. Some of the topics get very, very heavy.
Okay, okay. Do me a favor, chat. Type I trust myself in the chat.
Yes.
If this is kind of, if you're learning some, because I ain't gonna lie, I've sat in on a lot of their lives and a lot of the readings, and even got some readings for myself, and it is definitely interesting. It had me to the point where I wanted to go grab me a deck of cards, not knowing what I'm doing, and see, if I could intuit. But anyway, I'll leave it to the professionals. Y'all, amazing job over there. All right. So, segment 3: terror myths versus reality. Um, I'm quite sure you deal with a lot of myths and a lot of things. So, what do most people misunderstand about tarot?
Mm, I think that a lot of people make assumptions that because you're a tarot reader that you don't have a spiritual connection or belief. And uh, I think that's one of the biggest things. I get like a lot of some people come into the chat. Sometimes they're not very nice. Sometimes they start, quoting verses and, all kinds of things. But, I always say to people, approach with an open mind because you don't know unless you sit in. And there's different tarot readers, there's different styles of tarot reading. There's people like me that read for personal growth, self-development, uh, empowerment. But then there's other people that may do like divinatory style readings or different kinds, right? There's different kinds of readings. So you find it's like you find the person that you connect with and that becomes your person.
Okay. People, salute. Man, it's a lot of people pouring in. Okay. Let's see. How do you explain tarot to someone who's skeptical but curious?
Ooh, yes. Every once in a while, I'll get somebody that comes into the chat and they're genuinely curious. Like, what is it? How does it work? Some people feel like, oh, I have this crystal ball and I can tell the future. That's another myth. Like, no, I do not have a crystal ball. I cannot tell the future. Uh, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you something and you already know. Nothing that I say is going to be a shock or a surprise to you.
Drop a crystal ball in the chat for me, because I ain't gonna lie. I was one. I'm guilty. That's why I laugh. I'm guilty. I thought y'all had these crystal balls and y'all summon this. Listen, when you hear things from other people, that's why you need to go check things for yourself. When you hear things or you might see something on TV, you think that all tarot readers have the crystal ball and they summon answers and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad we clarified that. But yeah, okay. Why is tarot about reflection, not prediction?
I think that it depends on who you ask. I use it for self-reflection. Trista has a crystal ball. That's funny. And that's not to say that if you have a crystal ball, there's something wrong with you or there's something wrong with me for not having one. Like Desiree has a black mirror for scrying. I like to scry in, when I do the fire outside. I like to scry in the flames. And that would be the equivalent of if you ever see like a mom and her child laying down on a blanket in the park and they're looking at the sky and the kids are like, I see a dinosaur, I see a bird. It's the same exact thing. It's just looking to see what you see and then checking with yourself to see if what you're seeing makes sense to you or is a message that you were hoping to hear.
Okay. How can tarot empower instead of create dependency?
It's interesting because some people, when they first come to tarot, like they're like, whoa, How did you do that? How did you know? Right. And then it can become a little addicting at times, right? And they'll come and they'll ask a question. And then they'll come back the next week with the same question, or they'll go to another reader and ask the same question because you're curious. Like, you want to, is that true? Like, what are they getting the same thing that other people are getting? And so they go from person to person. So it can be like that, but we have to discern. We have to discern. Like, if you ask me today about a romantic relationship with someone, chances are that a week later, that reading is not, the energy hasn't shifted, right? At the end of the day, we have free will. So unless someone makes a conscious decision to do something different, that is the only thing that could change the outcome of the situation.
Okay. See, I'm sitting here learning as we go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This one. What's your favorite card and why?
Ooh, I have a couple favorite cards. So the first one is the Emperor, and that is tied to my sign Aries. And I have a love-hate relationship with the Emperor because this is the energy that is like, it's very structured. Everything is very organized. There's rules. We follow the rules. We cross our T's, we dot our I's, and da 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 da, right? And like, I hate it because I'm so much like that. Sometimes I wish I could just like relax and let my hair down, but I struggle with that. So that is one of the cards. The other card would be the Hermit. I relate to that card quite a bit. I feel like a lot of my path has been in that Hermit energy where I am kind of doing a lot of self reflection and connecting to my own intuition, but then using that to help be a light for other people.
Okay. Okay. Man, listen. Do me a favor, y'all. Any one of Elizabeth's moderators, if y'all can drop her link to her channel so that people will know where they can follow, where they can connect, and maybe possibly get a reading, whatever the case may be. I would greatly appreciate it if y'all could just drop her link in the chat so that everybody can connect and grow. And please don't be afraid to drop your own links. Just type exclamation locked. It will drop your link for you, and y'all can proceed on. Let's get to this one. Okay. So in segment 4, this is reflection and healing. It's supposed to be deep. Oh, wait, wait, wait. Oh, duh. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Reflection and reading. Okay. Why is reflection uncomfortable for so many people?
It's like being called out by yourself. But I'm going to tell you, like, I feel like I would rather be the one to see my own crud than to have somebody else come at you and point fingers and be like, you did this, you should have done this, like, I would rather see it for myself because I feel like that's exactly what it is. It helps you to see your own shadows, and once you start to notice the shadows, that creates awareness, and once you have awareness, then you start to recognize when you're doing the thing, right? Whatever that thing is, you start to recognize. And once you start to recognize, that is when you can start making changes. And and this is not an overnight thing by any means, right? Like, that's why it's called a practice, because, you have to work on this continually over time. But, I noticed that the way that I handle, for example, the way that I handle conflict with my children is different today than it was 5 years ago. Where 5 years ago, it was a screaming match, emotional outbursts, and all the things. And I find that over time, the more you recognize and see the the more that you're able to implement change in your life.
Okay. What questions should people be asking themselves more often?
What do I need to know today? What message does spirit have for me? And I use the term spirit. And I just want to say, I tend to use very generic terms, and I leave it up to people to define that for themselves. For some people, spirit could be the universe. It could be source. It could be God. It could be Allah. It could be like whatever you grew up with. I tried to make the channel as open and welcoming to people of different paths and walks of life without judgment. So that's a big part of what I try to strive for in my group and in my community is being open to other people, because different people believe different things. So I might use the term source, but I really mean, something else, right? Like I might mean God, or I might mean Jesus, or I might mean, Archangel Michael, or something, like that.
Okay. Okay. Sounds fair. Uh, I think I did that one. Okay. How can someone sit with emotions instead of escaping them?
That's very hard for a lot of people to do, right? Even those of us that feel like, oh, we're more enlightened. No, like sitting with your emotions is challenging. But the biggest thing that you could do, like a lot of people, for example, when they're having a moment, they try to self soothe, right? They may say, you know what? They will shift to something else. I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to eat. I'm going to, call up so and so because we always have a good time and we're just going to go and let our hair down and do all the things. So instead of doing those things, right, it's almost like you redirect yourself away from the issue when the issue is, I feel loneliness, or I feel pain, or I feel sadness, or I feel hurt. Sit with those feelings. Like, don't try to pivot yourself onto something else without actually giving your body time. Because if once you do that, like the body stores these energies or these emotions in, each body does this, right? This is why you have people like, oh, I have this tension headache. I don't know what to do. Why? Because you're stressed out and you're holding it in, right? Or like, oh, my lower back is killing me. Why? Because you're holding stuff in. Oh, I feel this heaviness, this weight on my chest. All of these are physical manifestations of emotions that we're holding in our body. That's why people have very visceral reactions when they go, say, for example, to the chiropractor, and they get, adjusted, and all of a sudden they break down in tears, and they always say the same thing. I don't know why I'm crying, but it's because your body has been storing this emotion for so long and it's finally releasing.
Okay. All right. So, what does healing look like when it's gentle, not forced?
It feels like you're doing the right thing for yourself. It feels like self-care, like self-love. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people, that struggle with that. Uh, Not having love for yourself is probably one of the most devastating things that you could do. It's so important to put yourself first, to treat yourself. Like sometimes the things that you tell yourself in your mind, like if you ask yourself, would you ever talk to another person that way? If the answer is no, then why are you talking to yourself that way? You know what I mean?
Shout out to Gen X. See, yeah, that's it. Listen, I'm gonna shout all. I'm gonna make sure y'all all get your shout outs in a minute. Okay, do me a favor in the chat. Drop the little pin writing emoji if you ever journaled anything, or if you plan on starting a journal to, you know, relieve tension or whatever the case may be. If you plan on journaling, or if you've ever journaled before, just write the pin writing emoji in the chat for me. Uh, okay, segment 5. This is safe spaces and energy. Okay, that's cool. What makes a space feel truly safe uh, energetically?
It feels like you can talk about things. It feels like I see this a lot in my channel. Someone will come in, it's a heavy reading, and then the entire group bands together to help uplift them and support them and encourage them. Don't worry, it's going to be okay. Like without judgment, that's the biggest thing is no judgment. It's a no judgment zone. Like who wants to hear I told you so when you did some nobody wants to hear that. Just, help me, listen to me. And, the other thing is to fix it, right? Like sometimes people have like this fix it, like, oh, well, if you do this, then this will take care of this. Sometimes you just need to listen.
Now, this question, this is from the people that just don't know. I myself was one of those people that just don't know.
Hmm.
Do people that's into tarot, if they're in a relationship, do they have to be with another tarot person? Because I mean, you kind of are grabbing information on a spiritual realm thing, so it's like uh, I don't know. I guess if you're predicting the future, you kind of how does that shape for you on a personal aspect as far as dealing with significant others and things of that nature?
That's a great question. And I think currently, I think I only know one tarot reader whose spouse also reads tarot. Most people do this as a self-care, like a practice that they do for themselves, or they do it for a living, right? They'll read for other people. Um, but it doesn't have to, like your partner doesn't have to. It helps if they're supportive, right? If they're supportive. I have met other people in this space whose spouses have not been supportive, and it's the source of a lot of problems and issues. So it's something that I feel like that's not a part of yourself that you can keep to yourself. I feel like if you're entering into a long-term relationship, you gotta, say what it is. People need to know that this is what you're into and this is what you stand for. Otherwise, it's going to become an issue down the road.
Okay. How do you protect your energy as a spiritual creator?
Mm. A lot of people have different ways that they do this. I use sound because I love sound for clearing, right? If there's anybody that's into like singing bowls or sound healing, where you go and you do the meditations, but I like to use sound, so I clear energy with sound. Some people have like their prayers or their petitions that they make to their source energy before. Different people do different ways. Some people call in for protection or for guidance. I like to use sound. I like to have all the elements around me too, so I usually keep crystals for earth. I always have a candle going for fire, and then we have air, and then shoot, what was the last one? Air, earth, water. That's the last one. So I usually try to keep all the elements around me when I am doing these readings. And I have to do temperature checks, right? Every once in a while, I got to do a pulse check. Sometimes Desiree is modding for me, and I may tell her, let's pause right now. Let's not add any more people to the list because I'm starting to feel it. Like if it's a heavy reading, I might just end the live right there and just say, I'll see you next time. It just depends. Do
Um,
you use chimes or sound to cleanse your decks? I do. Sometimes I use Palo Santo or sage. But I also use sound. I have a bell that I use for sound, and I have one of these like tubes, and then I just I may use that. I have other sound tools, but like for stuff that I'm doing on my own, not necessarily on a live, like a drum. I keep a drum. I like to do the drum. I do that when I do the fire usually.
Okay, okay. What boundaries changed everything for you?
Boundaries. Do you mean like in terms of that's a difficult question. I feel like I have you noticed my channel name is The More Intuitive Me. And I I knew that that's what I was going to name my channel before I had the channel. Like that was I created a separate Instagram handle with that name because I intended to keep that part separate than my other parts. But it's very difficult to compartmentalize in that way, right? I work. Obviously, I have a professional job, and it's one where it could get tricky if if what I do in my spare time, comes into my professional space. And so that's kind of how I started. And then it took me about a year, a little bit longer to realize I couldn't continue that way. This is who I am. If I was going to show up authentic, I needed to show up as my full self, and I couldn't try to hide parts of myself from my family or from my work or from friends. This is me. This is me. Take it or leave it.
Okay. The question is, how do you hold space without carrying other people's emotions?
Ooh, that's another good question because in the beginning, that's difficult to do. Sometimes you absorb. When you're an empath, you feel what other people feel very heavily. And if you're an empath, you know it, right? You'll see a commercial, it's sad, it'll make you cry. I can't sit there and scroll through Instagram. If I see something, I might start crying. Or if it's funny, I start laughing hysterically. Like, because I put myself in the shoes of the people, like what I'm watching. So uh in the beginning, it's difficult to understand that you have to kind of like shield your energy because you do have people that don't come with the best of intentions that could potentially try to come at you. You know what I mean?
Okay. This next question, this is another clippable moment. This is a cool thing when you can just say, hey, clip this. Okay. Why do people feel calmer in your lives? Well,
Everybody says that. I laugh because a lot of people say when they watch, I do a lot of lives, I do a lot of pre-recorded content, and a lot of people tell me that my voice is very soothing. And so it's funny because sometimes when I'm editing my own videos, like I fall asleep editing my own videos. So I don't know what it is. I don't know. I try very hard because I tend to rush things. So I try very hard to slow down my pace, and I try to eliminate which is it's a journey all of us go through when you're a content creator. And I find myself intentionally slowing down my pace, the pace that I'm speaking at. And I think sometimes that maybe makes people feel more calm or more relaxed.
okay. So a lot of people, let me just take this brief moment to let y'all know that whenever y'all come up for your interview, 90 something percent of the time, our community, we have a special gift for the individual that's coming up and sharing their life story and their channel goals and all that other stuff with us. So we put together something for Elizabeth. She doesn't know. This is going to be her first time seeing this package that we put together. So one thing that myself and Hustleman and some of the other content creators does in the Are You Locked In community is we will set you off with a branding packet to help you along with branding. So let's drop this for Elizabeth, and this is yours. You can do with it as you please. Let me share this really quick. Where did I put it at? Okay, y'all ready? You ready? All right, here we go.
Yes.
Are you locked in? 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 It's still a thing. Yes, it is. We're still doing our thing. We've seen a lot of people come and go, so I want to
That is
So,
our special gift to Elizabeth. We done made her video game. We done made her wine glasses. We done made her summer dresses. Uh, the logos and everything. That's all yours, 100%. We our gift to you, and this is for anybody who has a channel. The minute you get your channel outside of getting monetized, you want to have some form of merchandising for your platform. So those are things that you can implement. I will email it to you, or send it to you so that you can have, and you can get yourself. I think you do have merch though, right? You have your own merch.
I did. I created, it's so funny. You know how they say, if you build it, they will come. So before I was even monetized, I created the store, the merchandise, all the things.
That's as you should. And I'm gonna tell everybody if that's waiting to be monetized and so on and so forth, you can make yourself some money off of merchandising yourself. Like you are your content, and you as a content creator, you're the merchandise. You sell your, I mean, not sell yourself, but y'all get the drift. Basically, you can earn you decent. I make way more money off of my merchandise than I do uh these live streams. You know, YouTube, y'all need to step up your pay. You know, 1,000 views for $6 is sickening. But needless to say, thank y'all for the opportunity and all that good stuff. So let's get on with it. And like I said, I'll make sure you remind me. We will definitely send it out to you. You know, all yours, 100% custom made. Especially the video game. My daughter, she's a gaming coder, so you can sit down with her and she'll, you let her know what you want in your game, what you don't want. Y'all can work that out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Shop. Okay, how do you stay consistent without burning out?
Wow, that's another great question because it happens, right? Anybody that's on a spiritual path, you run the risk of burnout. And I took a break from tarot. I took a year off, and then I didn't pack anything up, but I just put everything away and I went about my business and I started to, explore other things. And then I don't know, like a year passed, and all of a sudden I was like, I feel like pulling this deck out. And that was it. I was back doing my thing. And I think the important thing is not to overburden yourself with like to-dos. Oh, I want to do a daily card pull and I'm going to do a card pull before bed and I'm going to do this and I want to set up a ritual table. I want an altar for my ancestors and I want to do, like, when you start doing all these things, you make yourself right, like you make yourself tired because then you created all of these rituals that you now are having a hard time keeping up with.
And I'm gonna take that one as a personal shot. A person is in my ear constantly, like, hey, Stop promising so much. You're spreading yourself too thin. You're giving, and you're gonna eventually burn out. And actually, during that process, I was about to leave this community. Like to hell with. I was because I just felt like I spread myself too thin, and I promised too many people too many things, and I was trying to meet deadlines and so on and so forth. So, yes, I agree with you 1,000%. And my moderator that's moderating, that lovely woman, she understands that I hear you. Believe me, I hear you, and I'm letting the world know that it's being just another sign that I need to slow down per se.
Mhm.
Okay, what does slow growth teach that fast growth doesn't?
Well, I think for starters, when you approach something slowly and intentionally, it is easier to cultivate that habit uh, rather than rushing through. Like you might have a spurt right up front, but then like have a drop. So I like the first thing that comes to my mind is the whole idea of like live streaming. I know that I could hit my watch hours if I go live every day. Right? But like it's just not feasible if I wanted to continue to be, to have a quality of life, right? I need time to rest. I need time for my own like meditative practices or spiritual practices. I'm also, a single parent. I need time for my family. I need time for my work. So there's a lot of things that go into it. So, I have to be mindful. So I decided to take the slower approach. But what has happened is that I've built community up slowly, and that has worked for me personally. I find there's a lot of people that are doing like the daily lives, but then a year later, all those hours drop, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh snap! I thought I was done. Like I thought I was monetized. Now I gotta, like figure out how I'm gonna get my watch hours back." And that's what I'm hoping to kind of temper, right? Like there's got to be a middle road there to be able to do both things and still be successful.
Okay. The question is, what are some basic rituals that are practical to start with?
Basic rituals, it depends on what you're into. Like for me, I love to journal. I start my day with journals. Sometimes I have a question, sometimes I don't. But just free flow writing is great for me. Some people start their day with meditation. Um, and that works for a lot of people. I think having, I'll tell you this, like even when I wake up in the morning and I'm getting ready for work and I'm doing my skincare routine, even that is meditative to me because I do it slowly with intention. I'm zoned in to what I'm doing. And so any practice where you just, sit with yourself and do the things without getting distracted. You don't realize how in the zone you get. If, a lot of people wake up and they rush through life. Like they run into the bathroom, brush teeth, shower, pick out clothes, throw it on, do something quick with their hair, run out the door. Sometimes you drive from point A to point B and you don't even know how you got there. Right? You're disconnected. You don't do you remember if you brushed every single, tooth? So there's something to that idea of slowing down and being intentional with the things that you are doing because um it's just more impactful, right? Even in conversation, sometimes you're talking to a person and they're not looking at you, they're looking down, or they're my favorite, multitasking, right? And then you ask them a question and then they don't answer, and then you ask again and they're like, yes. And you're like, but that wasn't a yes no question.
See, you know what? In my defense, because I know this person is in the background and they're listening and they just heard that, and I do this frequently. I apologize. What had happened was Listen, don't. I don't do it intentionally. It's not. I'm not purposely ignoring what you're saying. I'm trying to do a lot of things at one time, and I'm not taking the time. I wasn't taking the time to slow down and hear their spill. So I apologize again. See, I'm getting better. I'm getting better, and I'm going to implement a lot of these things.
It's a journey.
Yes, it's a journey, and ooh,
It's a journey.
yes. So yeah, and like she'll say something, and I'll be like, huh? Oh yeah, or I could be dozing off, and then I got to try to remember what the conversation was. It's a mess.
And that's not to say that I don't do that. I mean, sometimes I am, there's a lot of people that watch and support my channel, and I like to do the same thing for other people. And sometimes I put on a video, and the videos that I watch them because I'm interested in the content, right? And sometimes I put on a video and I'll have to like stop and restart because I'm like, so at some point I tuned out. Like what just happened? I missed it. And I may start and stop a video 5 or 6 times because it happens to everybody.
Especially as a content creator, it happens regularly. Okay, what has your community taught you?
They're so good. They're so good. They're so good to me. I love that space that we've created there. I think the biggest thing that they taught me is to be open. In the beginning, when I first started my channel, I thought that everyone that came to love on my channel and support my channel would be other fellow tarot people, right? And it turned out that it was nothing like that at all. I was meeting people in random places and they were like, oh, I'm into that too. I'll come and check you out sometime. And there's something so beautiful about those synchronicities. I love synchronicities. I feel like there's a reason that people come into your life. There's a lot of people that I feel like that about, you're one of those people. Desiree is one of those people. Like there's just so many like that I feel like there was a reason that person came into my life. Like we have things to teach each other. And I feel like that is the most beautiful thing about the channel.
Okay. Listen, community matters. But we man, listen, I love all over the community. Y'all are truly, truly, truly. Y'all don't understand, man. Like a like, a share, a comment, taking your time out your schedule to come chill with it. Right now, it is 278 people that is taking time out of their schedule to come and sit through this process with us. And we are 1000% appreciative. I had to, prior to the show, slow the chat down so that everybody's message could be seen as soon as it's. Thank you, 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 thank you. That's all I'll say it over and over and over and over and over. Stash, salute, salute. We've been up here almost an hour. This is another one of those moments where this is a clip moment. What does alignment mean to you right now?
Ooh, that's a great question. Alignment can mean a lot of things. But for me, I feel like when I align what I'm doing here with my spiritual path is when I feel like I'm being my best self. And I think alignment is very important when we're preaching one thing but doing something else and then modifying. Like we all wear masks, okay, let's face it. The way we act at work is different than the way that we act at church, the way that we act with family, the way that we act with friends, with kids. That's just how it is. But the more that we stop doing that, right, remove the mask and be our true self, you find alignment, but you also find peace because now you don't have to like constantly be thinking You know, is this right? Is this wrong? Should I do this? Should I act like this? Should I say this? You know, I don't have to worry about, well, these are my kids, so I have to come across strict and stern. And this is my professional, you know, work team. So I have to say all the right things, the company lingo. We need to make sure to socialize everything, you know, like that's my favorite corporate word these days. So there's so much that it would be, life would be so much easier if we could just be ourselves. This thing.
This is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful process. So we have some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful content creators in the chat, and I want to make sure that y'all understand that I see y'all. We appreciate y'all, especially from the All You Locked In team, from the Intuitive Me team. We appreciate you wholeheartedly. Like, we appreciate our community. Of course, we're gonna do something for you guys because you came to show us some love. So me and Elizabeth, we are going to do something for y'all per se. We'll work something out without burning ourselves out. Something like, but just to show appreciation. Maybe we might do another collab where we just shout out the chat and other channels and let people come and tell what their channel is about and so on and so forth, and show y'all that we truly, truly appreciate y'all. It's moments like this that make us proud as content creators, that you're able to get not only subscribers, but you're able to get family and other content creators to come and check you out, man. That means a lot to us. I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna break down the crowd, but I'm gonna let y'all know it means a lot, man, because the preparation and things that you gotta do to psych yourself up to come up here and deliver a great show, it gets weary sometimes, man. And it makes you, especially if you look up and it's like two people in the chat, it really, like, man, am I that bad? No, you're that good. I promise you. I don't care if you got 2 in your chat or 200 in your chat. You are good enough the minute you turn on your camera to win. You were meant to win.
That is so true. You know, when I first started going live, sometimes I'd be by myself, you know, and I would just, I think it's important to have like a loose agenda. And so I would just start talking. And eventually people would join in. And then little by little, it started, like the table started to turn. And now I don't have that situation as often. But I feel like my live streams are so much more well attended than my pre-recorded videos. For some reason, people really, really like the live stream versus the pre-recordeds. But you know,
yeah, my
part of
pre-recorded
the game.
My pre-recorded views be low, but they be so. They be, for me, it is very enlightening, especially the time of day that I drop pre-records. I appreciate y'all. But lives, people show up and show out, and I truly, 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 man, appreciate y'all. Like, coming into this year, you talk about 2026. Shout out to I need to just make sure I shout out cold-hearted. Shout out to Jane. From the All You Locked In community, was the first to be monetized in 2026. That means a lot. It makes me want to continue helping the community, and just to see, when someone goes from 2 views to 20 views to 200 views, it's a beautiful process, man. It is.
Yeah.
I can go over there with you and Desiree, and I'm like, look, they got 50 people in the building. Like, this is crazy. I got a couple more questions.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
we can wrap this up. Okay, what advice would you give someone who feels stuck
In life,
in life and on the channel and overall?
usually there's a reason that we feel stuck, and it's because there are things that we wanted to do that we haven't been able to do. So once you identify what those things are, then we can kind of look at what approach can we take? A lot of times it's because we don't trust, Chip, because we don't trust, right? Like we have this idea in our mind of what we want, and in our minds we decide it has to look like this and it has to be like this, and there's this checklist and it has to tick all these boxes. And but what if the universe wants to give it to you but in a completely, you ever like put your intention out there and you ask for something and you get it in a way that you never thought or expected, and you're like, okay, I know that that's what I asked for, but not like this. But we got to trust that what we're getting is what's in our best interest.
Here's another clippable moment, y'all. Y'all ready? What do you wish someone told you earlier in your journey?
That you cannot make everybody happy. Like your content is not going to be for everyone. And every space has, things going on. Sometimes there's drama, sometimes there's stuff behind the scenes. You can't possibly make everybody happy. So it's your channel. I mean, let's be real, right? Most of us work harder on our channels than we do in our regular 9 to 5 job. Like I spend more hours on my channel than I do in my regular weekly paying job. So like if you're putting that much, it's because you believe in what you're doing. And so if you're going to do that, then do the stuff that makes you happy. Like don't worry about like, well, I got to put this out because this is what the people want. No, do what you want, because like energy finds like energy. You will find your people. Your tribe will find you.
Okay. Uh, Here's another clippable moment, y'all. We're gonna just clip it up for this closing. So, how do you want people to feel after leaving your channel?
I hope that people feel open-minded about tarot. I think that's the biggest thing is tarot education. I think tarot gets a bad rap because they use it a lot in movies, and every time there's a murder scene, somebody drops the death card, and you're like, oh my god, somebody's gonna die. So I think there's a lot of like negative press and negative publicity, and believe it or not, it's still illegal in certain states in the US to practice tarot or read tarot. So it's just something that's like deeply ingrained in the culture for years. But it's becoming more and more mainstream, and a lot of psychologists use it for therapy and for healing. And I think my life is better as a result of it.
Okay. Here's another clippable moment, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all just clip these up. Okay. If you could leave the audience or your chat or everybody who's tuned in right now with one message to carry forward, what would it be?
Listen to yourself. Like there are times where your intuition is trying to speak to you. I always say, like, when you pray, you're asking God, deity, source, the universe, you're asking for specific things, right? But when you meditate, you're listening, you're quiet, and you're just listening for the response. So I feel like it's a relationship, right? Like we can't just sit there and ask for stuff all the time without like sitting and waiting for a guided response. And like I said, it's a practice. So you should never compare your practice to other people, and don't rush it either. It takes time to build that part of yourself.
Man, listen, y'all do me a favor, drop a moon, drop the crystal ball, drop some purple hearts, drop it all in the chat. Let's give it up for Elizabeth. Man, this has been enlightening. I'm honored to be able to, first of all, because when you get somebody that was scared to come on camera, to finally now just go live and are doing their thing, and you watch the growth and you watch the way her community responds to her, it's a proud moment. Like, yeah, I'm at all. I'm it just is. It's hard to explain, but it's every bit of it's worth it. it's worth taking your time to help another person get what they want to get.
I
Touch.
wanted to take a minute if I could. There's
Mhm.
something that Clint said in the chat, Gen X effect.
Okay.
He says, he said, listen to yourself. I like that, but learn to know the difference, right? And he is so correct because there's often two voices, right? And you can tell the difference from the ego mind and your intuition speaking to you, because the ego mind will be the one that's ruminating. Oh, you should have said this and you should have done this. And I can't believe that you let her talk to you like that. And you should have da. That's the ego mind, right? That's not your intuition. Your intuition is very like gentle and soft, and it just drops something there. And a lot of times you don't even know where it came from. All of a sudden you're like, oh, you know, you have that idea. So there's a difference between those two things.
Man, this has been awesome. Before I let you go, for all of the individuals that sat through this and sat through us conversation, I'm going to premiere one of the newer songs that was made for us, that was blessed to the platform. If you would like some music, or if you would like copyright free music you can play on your live streams and so on and so forth, reach out to Anthony Holmes 71, reach out to Stash Cash, reach out to Harry Gina Net, reach out to the Hustle Man, reach out to Zoe Madden, Damo, let me make sure I'm not forgetting right. Joker, Love Child, Boogie Town, Fantastic. Reach out to Jane. These individuals are sending music, and it is so dope. Like, you're gonna hear, I'm gonna play one of these songs before we ride out into the sunset. I would like to thank each and every content creator, right? In order for me to thank y'all correctly, though, drop your channel links. It would do me an honor to know that you left this live stream and you gained 40, 50 new subscribers. That would be a blessing that you left here, whether you sitting on Elizabeth page, or you're sitting on the vertical, or you're sitting on the horizontal one, you gained some new subscribers from tuning in. That's what it's about. It's about networking and growing and helping each other get to the next level. So while I play this music, y'all take the time, drop your channel links. Elizabeth, what you can do, or what your people or your community, you know who's who, and shout them out. Let them know. Like, listen, y'all showed up for me. We're gonna pour it back 10 times. So let me play this song, and
Are you locked in? From daytime straight to late. Yo. Ralphie's kids in the building. Are you locked in? Worldwide, oh. Turn it up right now. Are you locked in? Are you locked in? If you locked in, say yeah then. Are you locked in? From daytime straight to late. Are you locked in? Hands up, I know stressing. Are you locked in? Whole crew locked in, blessing. Pull up to the party, vibe already set. Baseline jumping, everybody sweat. Sun go down, but we ain't done yet. Are you locked in, crew? Yeah, you know we rap. From the block to the beach to the rooftop scene. Good vibes only, yeah, you know what I mean. Smile on face, no negative team. Tonight all worries get washed real clean. DJ spin it back just one more time. Feel the rhythm when the stars align. If you feel the beat and you feel just fine, tell me right now, don't waste no time. Are you locked in? Are you locked in? If you locked in, say yeah then. Are you locked in? From daytime straight to late. Are you locked in? Hands up, I know stressing. Are you locked in? Whole crew
man. Listen.
Yo, yo, yo.
Let me make sure I stop it. Man, thank y'all. Thank you so much. We appreciate, and those that are making music, if you want to continue to keep sending music over, we will definitely play it. I try to drop one of your songs every morning when I do the word of the day. Y'all stay tuned. This has been an awesome, spectacular uh, interview. We are blessed and grateful to have Elizabeth come and bless the platform finally with her with her magazine interview. Now, another thing with these magazines, right? This is a digital magazine, so the transcripts and what's on the inside of the magazine, I can always email you them files, and you can print out the cover and so on and so forth, and it will be inside of the magazine for and you can put your episode out any way you would particularly like. That that's our another one of our gifts to you, the participant.
Oh,
Now,
thank you.
anybody that whether you're monetized or not monetized, if you would like to be featured, if you would like your channel featured in the All You Locked In magazine, just reach out. Reach out to me on IG, or you can email me at all you locked in uh, LLC at gmail.com. And that will be able to set your interview up and so on and so forth. On that note, Elizabeth, shout your team out. The floor is yours. Let me let you talk to your peoples.
I just want to say thank you so much. A lot of people showed up today to bring love and support and positive energy. I love that so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the team. And I couldn't do the work that I do without your love and support. So I'm grateful to you forever, and thank you so much.
Man, it's short and sweet. But anyway, we appreciate y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know, right? So StreamYard. I love YouTube and YouTube, man. Listen, y'all are awesome. Appreciate y'all. But StreamYard has this feature, right? It says teleprompter. So instead of me looking down at my phone for my notes, it's on my screen. I can see it, but y'all can't see it. The whole it is so awesome. Oh man, listen, this is game changing. I might do a live showing this feature. And here go my see that's the sign. 79. I'm not. I promise you, I'm done. I'm not sleeping on the couch tonight. Shout you out, and I appreciate you wholeheartedly for allowing me the opportunity to share this information with the people. Uh, but yeah, I got to go. We truly, we love y'all, and we appreciate y'all wholeheartedly. Please, if you're a content creator, type exclamation locked, drop your links to your channel, communicate with the community, and meet you some new family members.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, I'm gonna do a live stream, sharing my screen and showing the teleprompter how to use it, how to activate it, what it looks like from my end, so on and so forth, so that we can uh it is game changing. Because now it's like, some of the time, especially when I'm doing the word of the day, I'm reading. So I won't turn my camera on. Shoot, I can read just perfectly fine. And so it's definitely a game changer. Uh, give everybody just a couple minutes to connect and grow. And one important thing for all content creators, everybody, comment after the live, especially
Oh, yeah.
if you don't have a wrench. Comment after the live. What it does is it alerts the algorithm that you are engaging on someone's video. What the algorithm does is it blesses that person who you just commented on, but it also blesses you to show that you are a YouTuber. YouTubian. So
Mhm.
it will send people to your channel to view you because you commented on someone else's videos.
Yeah.
The more you engage, the more your videos will be pushed. So if you want to know why your channel ain't growing, maybe you're not commenting or
You
on.
gotta engage.
Yeah, you definitely have to engage. Engagement is key. If you feel like your channel is stuck, start engaging more. Engage until you can't engage no more. That's my final thought, and I'm sticking to it. And I appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all, please, for the final word, y'all be the best you that you can possibly be. And I will see each and every single one of y'all at the top. Salute.